Round pinning your horse, and we're just going to grab these two guys here. They're fresh, we've done no groundwork, and we'll just do a quick little round pin session with them, kind of demo what we like to do. Not saying our way is the way, just something to think about. So we just like to bring them in fresh, take their halter off of them. Anytime you turn your horse loose, you should make him kind of come to you just a little bit, and then step away from him this way. Don't just chase him off. Now if he wanted to tear around in here, I probably wouldn't do too much. But right here, if he wants to kind of pick up the pace, a lot of people say I want to bring my horse in to get the energy off of him. But for me, I want to bring him in and get him to focus on me for instruction. So if he wants to tear off this way, I'm just going to do a quiet little direction change with him. I give my horse 3 strides to fix himself. He's not going the pace I want him to go. Even though he's fresh, I don't care. He still has to do as he's instructed. And right here, I haven't given him any instruction to go anywhere, so he got his correction. So right here, I'm gonna just kind of put the whip towards his shoulder. Just say, just walk yourself off here. Be quiet when you go. 1, 2, 3. See how he fixed himself? That's why we don't want to be too quick to correct our horse in 1, 2, 3. See how he's thinking? That's why we don't want to be too quick to just jump in there and get after him. I'm going to lower the whip, and he should stop. I'll just step up here and pet him now for a second. But I don't want to be too quick to jump in there and correct my horse. Let him think for a second. Now just because I've presented the whip to the driving position here, now if I drop it, he should stop like that. If he had failed, I'd give him 3 strides. I'd probably just reverse his direction or step in front of him a little bit. So I'll just present the whip, ask him to move off, kind of quiet like. And if I put a little energy into the whip, I want him to pick up the pace. If I lower the energy, I expect him to slow him down. But he has to keep walking. If I put a little more energy to him, I want him to pick up the pace. Just kind of push him along. See how that left ear's cocked in on me nice? Now just kind of lower the energy by easing the whip off. But he does have to keep walking. He does have to keep walking. Now I'll just drop the whip and he should stop. If he failed, I would have stepped up in front of his shoulder here and got his attention. I'll just kind of let him think there for a second. But I never just bring him in and say, oh, I want to try to get the fresh off. So I'll just kind of drive him off the other way, quiet like. Quiet like. He gets 3 strides. Right here, I'll just kind of change directions on him. Ease up. But then ask him to turn back, and I don't care if he turns the fence because I am pushing his shoulder. 3 strides, 2, 3. I just kind of ease the pressure off of him. But there to kind of let him know he's being rewarded for being a good boy. Right here, we just kind of ease him off. And then pick up the pace with a little energy. I want him to lope, so I just kind of put a little harder energy on him. Give him a kiss. Push, 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 push. Ease off. Ease off. To a walk. To a walk. To a walk. I'll just kind of block him here a little. There. And drop the whip to stop. Ooh. Good boy. Good boy. Bring the whip over here towards the shoulder. Herd him along here. Quiet. Add a little energy for a trot. And then send him up to a lope. Ease the whip off, see if he comes to a trot. And now a walk, but you have to keep walking. And again, the whip goes towards the ribs, not the hip. And he can stop. Good boy. Go up here and tell him how smart he is. Always make sure you're aware of what you're doing with your whip. Don't walk up there with your whip flipping all around like this because he may think that's a signal. Send him forward and stop. Okay, and that's how we like to warm our colts up. So again, we're just going to turn our colt loose here. And when I do, I just always make sure they kind of come to me just a little bit. There we go. I hope he's turned the wrong direction here. He's a little bit of a gate hog. Right here, I just kind of make sure the pressure's off, and I'll let him kind of think about what he's doing here for just a second. But now I'm just going to go ahead and say, no. You got to change directions. You get yourself you got to change directions. I'll use direction change as a form of correction, and I'll just use, and there. And back off a little. He's broken down to the trot. I'll just kind of help him. And just use the amount of energy you want to see a response for. So I wouldn't get in here and flash the whip at him. I just present it to him there. And when he walks, I want him to know and come to believe that he's being left alone for a reason. He's thought about trotting there a couple of times. Just kind of keep him moving, again, at the ribs. And I'll just kind of drop the whip, kind of block him up front, So I appreciate you gathering your wits and watching for instruction here. I'll let him think for a second. Let him know he's being corrected for making decisions on his own. Let him walk a little ways, let him like walking. And right here I'll just drop the whip, kind of block him up front. There. Watching for instruction. Present the whip and drop the whip. And present the whip and drop the whip. Block him up front. At the ribs. Increase the energy. Now a lot of energy. Let him lope. That's a nice controlled, quiet lope. You can see he's thinking. Getting past the gates. Just lower the energy. At the shoulder, please. I didn't ask you to stop. And now you can stop. Ooh. Blocking. Good boy. Now get back over on that side. Back over on this side. Back over. Back over. Back there. And there. Good boy. There. So the whip should have some meaning to it. Okay, cat.